Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews. Let's go see what's in the fridge today. Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews. Today we're continuing our series. This is the 2017 edition of the Kentucky Breakfast Stout KBS from Founders Brewing. This one was sent to me by Brad. This is a 11.8%er, so the ABV is varying now, starting the ones I had done up till yesterday was 11.2. Yesterday's was 12.4. This one is 11.8%. So it's varying just a little bit with their batches now. This being a 2017 edition, it has the same commercial description and the same IBUs at 70 as the 11.2 beers and the 12.4 had. And it has, like I said, the same commercial description, which I'm going to read real quick. What we got here is an Imperial Stout brewed with massive amount of coffee and chocolates and cave-aged in oak bourbon barrels for an entire year to make sure wonderful bourbon undertones come through the finish, makes your taste buds squeal with delight. I am a big fan of this series of beers, but around here you have to jump through a lot of hoops to get your hands on them. A lot of places it's not like that. So Brad, thanks a bunch for sending this one to me. And I think we got one more left in there, which is a 2019 edition. I don't have a 2018 to do, so we're going to skip that year, and we're going to see what this brings to the table. I had been hoping each one, being fresher than the year previous, would have more bourbon notes or more coffee notes, and that has not been the case, guys. And a lot of that has to do with them being in a barrel for a whole year. Those coffee notes fade substantially being in those bourbon barrels that long. So it is what it is. I have no control over that, and being a barrel aged beer for an entire year, I was still hoping to have more bourbon notes than I have been getting. There are bourbon barrel aged beers that have more prominent bourbon notes than this series has. But that may not be what they're after here, guys. They maybe want the bourbon not to overpower everything else. But I have not noticed a substantial difference between the years. They do sell it very well, but I have not noticed a big difference between the 2010 and the 2016, which we did yesterday. I have noticed a big difference in them, guys. They're pretty consistent as far as what you're going to taste and what you're going to smell. They are very consistent, and they are tasty beer, guys. Trust me, they are. You need to pick it up if you like this style of beer. They're not in a big 22-ounce bomber or a 750 milliliter bomber, although KBS did do a 22-ounce bomber. I don't know what year it was. I have one of those. I have 3 left in the fridge of different years that I have already reviewed here, guys. And I'm going to sell those for a while longer, or I'm going to drink them. I'm not going to re-review them anytime soon. So, with that being said, thanks again to Brad for sending this to me. And we've got the year, we've got the ABV at 11.8, and the IBUs at 70. So it is time. Final beer of the evening for me. So let's see what the 2017 brings to the table, and the 2017 has a different cap than all the previous versions so far, and it has the rear label on it that the earlier ones did not have. I'm going to step this up a notch. I should have poured it a little more aggressive than I did. About a half a finger of head on that pour, guys. I should have poured it a little more aggressive. I wanted more head. Looks pretty good though. I mean, looks pretty reminiscent of what all the rest of them have been so far. So to the nose we go. Very nice bourbon notes. I am getting a little stronger bourbon notes, being fresher than the previous years. Smells awesome in the glass, guys. It really, really does. Not getting a huge amount of coffee. I wasn't really expecting that, because that stuff fades just like hops do on an IPA or a double IPA, especially when it sits in a barrel for an entire year. Rich roasted malt, a little bit of black molasses, maybe a little bittersweet chocolate. Smells good, nice bourbon notes. That's how it. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Brad. Tasty beer, guys. To me, I think the bourbon notes are just a hint, slight, ever so slight hint stronger than what I was getting from the previous beers, but I have had stronger bourbon tasting beers than this, so that's probably what they want. They don't want the bourbon overpowering everything else. But being in a bourbon barrel for a whole year, I would think that would be hard to control, especially if they're using first run barrels. When I say first run, it's never had beer in them before. Awesome smell. It's got an outstanding aroma. And I can smell the bourbon, and that's what I want to be able to do. I want to be able to smell that, and I want to be able to taste that. And to me, guys, this is just my opinion. I want it to be the prominent notes that I am smelling and tasting if I'm paying more for that 1 year in a barrel aging process. There are, like I said, more prominent bourbon notes from other beers, and I'm thinking there is a heavier, thicker mouthfeel on some of those beers than what I'm getting from this. To me, it's like a medium body beer. So depends on what you're wanting to drink, what you're wanting to buy, what you're wanting to taste and smell. There are bourbon barrel aged beers that have a lot more bourbon notes and aromas and tastes than this, but that may not be what they're after. They may be, and from what I'm judging from the 2010 up to the 2017 edition, they're trying to keep that fairly consistent, even though the ABV has changed a little bit over the last couple that I've done, going from its 11.2 to a 12.4 and now 11.8%. The alcohol is varying a little bit there between the last couple, but still very reminiscent of what taste I am smelling and getting on the taste. So, very well made beer, guys. If you're into the bourbon barrel beers, especially the stouts, this is a very, very tasty one to pick up if you can get your hands on it, and a great one to cellar. I don't notice a big difference between the 2010 and the 2017 so far. So I was hoping the bourbon notes would be a little stronger, and they may be just a wee bit being fresher than the 2010, but not outstanding to me, but still very tasty. A very impressive beer, and I don't think they charge an arm and a leg for these. They're going to be more expensive than a regular version, being a year in a barrel, but still, you got to realize what you're buying. You're not buying a Budweiser or a Miller or a Coors or a low session ABV beer at 4%. This is a big beer. This is a almost 12%er here. So drink responsibly, guys. Don't do anything stupid. Don't think I'm macho man and I'm going to go out and I'm going to drink this and I'm going to drive home and all of that. That'd be very stupid. That's why I do all my beer reviews here, guys. I don't drink and drive anymore. It's not worth it. Anybody that knows or has had a DUI knows that is not a place you want to be. unless you have deep pockets and somebody to drive you around and pay for a machine to be installed in your vehicle that you have to blow into to drive your damn vehicle, don't do it. I don't want to see you get hurt, and I don't want to see you hurt any innocent people, children especially. How would you feel if you went out and drank one or two of these monster beers, whether it's this one or anything else, and you got into an accident and hurt or killed somebody? How could you live with that the rest of your life? So please, please, please drink responsibly. If you're going to drink something of this magnitude, drink it at home or have a designated driver, somebody that's not been drinking. So it's the end of the public service announcement. I just want to reiterate that, guys. I was damn lucky. As much as I did drink and drive in my earlier years, I don't do that anymore. And it was feel damn lucky that I never did get a DUI, knock on wood, every piece of wood that I could touch. It's not worth it, guys. Don't do it, please. So, awesome beer. Not outstanding, but pretty damn tasty. So let me sip on this right out of the fridge and we'll come back and give it a grade. Alright guys, I'm back. I've been sipping on it for a while. A little bit of lacing and stuff on the glass. Impressive beer, but not outstanding to me, guys. I want to smell and taste a little bit more stronger bourbon notes, especially if it's been aged in a bourbon barrel for a whole year. But that may not be what they're after. They may not want the bourbon overpowering everything else, and I understand that. But for what this beer costs, I want to be able to taste that very prominently, or smell it, or both very prominently. So still a great beer to pick up, especially if you're into a bourbon barrel stout, guys. It is a very well made beer. So we'll see now that they've been bought out whether it will continue to be an impressive beer or not so much. Time will tell. So with that being said, let's do the final joke. Very nice aroma. It is. It is a very nice aroma. I'm getting the bourbon. But it's not super off the chain like some of the bourbon barrel stouts are. So, still very tasty. Final joke. And this beer sellers very well. As you can see from what I've done previously, especially from the 2010, 11, 12, and on up. It doesn't seem to change a whole lot by cellaring it. The coffee notes have already faded being in the bourbon barrel for a whole year. So if you're looking for a big coffee note, you're not going to find it in this beer. I don't even think you can get a fresh one. The 2020 edition, whenever it's produced, probably not going to have a big coffee note to it, because those notes fade while it's in the bourbon barrel. So, and I don't know what coffee they're using, whether it's some kind of Sumatra coffee or whatever. They don't tell us what coffee they're using. That will have an effect on what coffee taste and aroma you're going to get. So, I don't have that information. I don't know what coffee they're using, guys. But I don't get a whole lot of coffee notes on these beers. So if you're expecting that, you will be disappointed, especially if you've got something that has big coffee notes to it. But it is an impressive beer. But it's not an outstanding beer. It's not going to get a 10 from me, 98 from me, guys. And like I said, Beer Advocate has all of them clumped together, and they have the wrong ABV for most of the beers. So we're not even going there. So with that being said, we're going to jump over to Untappd. They have it at 4.46. Not the best numbers from those guys, but it's still an A beer, and I think I'm giving it a better grade than those guys are, with a 98 grade. That is on the upper end of the A scale. Almost a 10, and if you say, my God, that's the best thing I ever tasted, oh man, they took me in the back room and whatever. I understand that, guys. I wouldn't argue with that. It is a very tasty beer, very well done. So we shall see as time goes by, now that they've sold out, whether the beer is just as impressive in the 2020 edition and going forward that it has been so far. So with that being said, you've got the grade from them, you got the grade from me. If you've had the 2017 edition of the KBS recently, let me know what you think. Till we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.